On this episode we talk about ways we use to manage alopecia. We would like to answer your questions about alopecia.
So send them to us and we'll answer them.
This is
AskAlopeciaUK.
I've always tended towards wearing wigs. I also wear headscarves and stuff, and so I like to be able to play around with the look that I can create, I guess. It's kind of, for me I suppose, managing my alopecia is covering it up, I suppose, and I prefer to be able to do that. But that helps me to manage. If that means that I can go outside and feel comfortable, then that's what I will do. So I guess I maybe have got a different relationship with wigs. I did start when I was a lot younger with alopecia, and straight away once I'd lost all my hair, it was just kind of like that's what we did. So we went and got me a wig. I don't think we ever considered me not having a wig. So it was just kind of a wig, and then that's what I relied on to try and fit in at school, I guess.
And I think that...
And I kind of had a dependency on wigs, and then I know when in the past I've had a dermatologist say that eventually I was really lucky and I had prescriptions where I got real hair wigs, and then suddenly that was getting cut, and the dermatologist was kind of like, oh, you can't have them anymore, and I was just devastated because I'd become to rely on those, and they helped me go out and just live life. Do you know what I mean? And
I think it's not just the fact that our alopecia struck at different ages, yours at the age of 11, me at the age of 27. I think it also has a lot to do with the fact that we have very different personality types.
Yeah.
I'm more comfortable with this. I've accepted kind of how it is, and for me, I find this easier than to wear a wig, which I found quite a challenge. But it didn't mean that I was kind of I'm happy that this is the case. I'm comfortable with how I am, and not everybody can reach that place of being comfortable with it.
Yeah, sometimes you kind of just felt like you're just getting through each day, you're just taking each day as it comes and just getting through it and getting to the end of it. And you know, you're just having to deal with it and do what you have to do. You had to go to school. To do that, I put a wig on. I would get upset kind of on my own in the night, like going to bed and things. I did get quite upset, and I hid it from everybody. Because I didn't want to upset my family and things like that as well. And a way that I coped in my teenage years is that I kept diaries and journals, and that did help me to cope because it helped me to get some of the things out of my head and write it down. It was through Hairline International that I originally met a couple of other girls, but then it was when Alopecia UK started in the forum, and I used to spend hours on that forum. And I didn't post a huge amount, but I was just reading it all, and just like after all that time of not having other people to talk about it, and then suddenly there's just all these other people who were writing about the things that I had felt, and I was totally related to it. And then I started going along to different support groups and stuff. That helped me a huge amount. And also I think another way that I coped was that I wanted to go and learn and understand what happened to me. So like my undergraduate degree and my masters were ways for me to understand by researching and looking into it all. And I think now as I'm older, the way that I cope is that I want to get in place for younger people those things that I never had. So like in my teenage years, when I look back, and I just think it's quite sad that wasn't there for me, putting that in place for young people now. Like we go to Alton Towers or we put those days on, like that helps me cope with that younger self of mine, because I feel like I'm kind of doing it for her as well in a way.
I remember it took a lot for me to walk into that room that first time and meet people face to face. And I remember, as I say, I think many people would say, oh, Amy's a very confident person, and I've always tended to not be nervous about meeting new people or kind of speaking in front of people and that kind of thing. But for me, I remember what a big deal it was, and I went down to London on my own, and I walked into a room, and I wasn't knowing who I was going to meet and how it was going to go, and I remember feeling really, really nervous. And I think you've acknowledged that I think we both recognise how much meeting others or speaking to others and chatting through those experiences can really help with the coping. But at the same time, I think it's touching upon face-to-face support might not be something that people are able to reach out and get, but the valuable support that can be found with, I say, both online, whether it be on the forum or with the Facebook group. I mean, that's taken off, and not everybody that's in that group are active contributors, but at the same time, just by reading other people's kind of thoughts and stuff, there's a lot to kind of be said from kind of getting involved in that as well.
Definitely.
So we've given you our ideas of how we manage our alopecia, but we'd really like to hear from you on your ways of dealing with the condition and how you manage day to day. So please leave your comments below. If you have alopecia and like our videos, or you know somebody with alopecia, please let them know about us, and please subscribe to our channel.